In my book, in chapter 10, Dying to Be a Good Mother, I talk about your problem child is your greatest gift. And this is part of why I started my business, was parenting, conscious parenting, and seeing and understanding our children on a deeper level. So I have decided to start a private parenting podcast. It's called Emotionally Uncomfortable Parenting. We talk about tips for managing stress and anxiety, navigating social media and screen time, strategies on dealing with the rebellion and defiant teen, and helping our children with their mental health. The first season of this podcast is all about raising resilient teens. And I'm going to dive deeper and deeper and deeper into other aspects of parenting and child development as well. But this goes way back to the beginning of my career as a social worker and talking about the emotional aspects. I think we miss the gap between the practicality of it's not always about us as parent teen. Our children are struggling too. So if you're interested in joining us for the private conversations on the podcast, just related to parenting, head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/parenting. That's with, parent and then ING at the end, parenting. And you can listen to the podcast on Spotify and anywhere you listen to Emotionally Uncomfortable, but you have to opt in first because you won't be able to find it online. So that's heatherchauvin.com/parenting. There are so many things that people you look up to can tell you of what you need to learn and what you need to do and where you need to focus. And they can give you so much advice. But to be honest, you're not going to take that advice. You're not going to take the advice until you are committed to the process. You're invested in it. The time, the energy, and most likely the money. You're going to have to financially back whatever it is that you want to change. And when I say investment, I don't mean a lot of money. I just mean you have some type of skin in the game. You actually care about change. And there's 5 things that I'm going to talk about today that I didn't know that I needed to learn until I needed to learn them. And these 5 things were reiterated to me this past weekend when I was running or hosting a retreat with my team and my mentors. So inside of our coaching programs, inside of our mastery community and our mastery business community, we have one big community, but not everybody comes in. We have a personal track where people come in for their mind, their body, their soul, their parenting, their relationships. And then we have a business track where people, not only need to do the inner work, because we're all human, by the way, we all need to do the inner work, but they also want to do the professional work. And they may want to change careers, or they may want to attract more profit in their business. So we have 2 kind of tracks that people go in. And on that note, if you are interested in any of that, you're looking for support, you're welcome to text me. So send me a message or a video at Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/chat, CHAT. And you can just type in the word coaching and it goes directly to me, and I will engage in a conversation with you. We'll see where you're at, and then we can book a call with someone on my team to see if it's a good fit for you. So we're at this retreat, and this retreat was a dream come true because all during the last few years when travel wasn't happening in the world, I had this vision and this dream. And I told all the mentors in my group, I said, one day we're all going to get together. And there was 14 of them that showed up. We have about 5 more that were not in attendance. And these women, these mentors have been through my process, have been through my programs. And I would call them like the star students. These were people who were invested. And what I mean by that is not just financially, but also the time and the energy. Like they truly wanted to change who they wanted to become. And they were saying things to me throughout the weekend, like, Heather, you've changed my life. And I came to you at a rock bottom, or I came to you completely overwhelmed, having no idea, where to turn, what to do in my life. And I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you. And you may have heard me say this a few times if you are an avid listener on the podcast. But the last few years I've been in transition, and it's been interesting to watch and observe, not only from a habit perspective, but an identity perspective. And this part of me, I'm going to call it the shadow side, that just wants to run away, right? We all have these sides where it's the brain, it's our fear. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to worry about this? Wouldn't it be nice if this was easier? And the truth is it is easy, but it's emotionally uncomfortable. And I'm not over here hustling 24 hours a day. I'm doing the work that's required, but there's this inner commitment that is required for people to choose this freedom-based path. And I tell people parenting is personal growth on steroids. And unless you are just willing to abandon your children, you're going to be challenged, right? Because it's typically a primal thing where you want to support your children or support yourself. And you're going to continuously, not everybody, but most people, and probably the people that are listening to this podcast, are going to continuously try to figure out how to heal their relationship with their children, how to become a better parent, and how to support their children. And what I mean by that is that perseverance to figure shit out, even though it's incredibly frustrating. That is the type of mindset and belief system you need to carry throughout your other aspects of your life. So I see this a lot with the women that I work with, because I work primarily with professional women raising children, that when it comes to the child, they're willing to do whatever it takes for the children. But when it comes to themselves, we can abandon ourselves. That's the easy part. So I tell people all the time, you cannot give yourself a back door. So as I'm at this retreat and I'm talking to these mentors, these are the mentors that have not given themselves many back doors. I mean, we all do in some sense, because we want a way out, right? We're like, this is too hard. This is too emotionally uncomfortable. I have to chronically, look at my fears. I have to look at my resistance. I have to do the things I don't want to do. And yeah, again, unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. It doesn't need to be 24 hours a day. You don't need to challenge yourself all the time. But if you're not willing to challenge your brain, you're never going to grow. So I looked at these women and I just thought, I'm here for you. I said, if I gave up, which I've wanted to 1 million times, if I gave up, you wouldn't be here. I said, the fact that I didn't give up shows what is possible. And every day, not every day, but every week for sure, I probably say some type of variation of why can't I be normal? Why can't I just teach people how to drink green juice, green smoothies? Put these 5 ingredients in a blender and hit blend. Why can't it? But I'm telling myself, why can't it be easier? Why can't it be easier? But the truth is, this work is my purpose. This work lights me up. This work, there's a bigger why to why I do what I do. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you are listening to this and there's something inside of you that wants to be birthed, there's a more inside of you. There's this sense of fulfillment that you desire. It's possible. It's just going to challenge you. And so at some point in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I really had to step up and into in order to become who I am today. But here's the thing of why I'm saying this. While I was at the retreat and I'm looking at these ladies, I was like, okay, now my job is to lead the leaders, right? This is my job. I mean, I still work with people, front lines, everyone who comes in has access to me. We talk, we do the thing, but it's a community and you are now surrounded by multiple Heathers. You're not just surrounded by me, you're surrounded by women who are doing the work and who are a lot closer to where you have been. And it's a community of women who are willing to challenge themselves. And I thought, crap, I can't give up now. They need me, right? Just like my kids need me. I can't give up now. And it was interesting because I looked at them and I thought, the more you lean into your resistance, this is what I'm saying to my mentors, the more you become the version of you that you know you want to be, that you desire to be, that impacts and influences the community. That impacts and influences your mentees, like the students of Mastery and Mastery Business. And I can't say to somebody on my team, how you lead impacts the people a few steps behind you, right? Who are doing this work a few steps behind you. Your job is to role model what is possible for them. If I'm going to say that, then I need to do that. And because I really believe in the power of practicing what you preach and being a role model and leading by example, I understand how difficult and emotionally uncomfortable it is to lean into your desires, right? To really understand the difference between your fear and your intuition, to really become confident, to heal those relationships with those that you absolutely love and the people you want to continue being in your life. Just taking a sip of tea. To overcome, to feel whole, to feel fulfilled, to feel healthy and vibrant. And I truly believe that every time we up level in our lives, or we become a different person, or you get promoted at work, or you decide to, jump into a different revenue level in your business, you're trying to scale yourself. Or my new favorite, raising teenagers. Every time the universe, God, source, whatever your belief system is or lack of, like your beliefs, just insert that. Something bigger, something outside of you challenges you to grow, right? If you are a little flower in a flower pot and you have outgrown that pot and your roots have no more room to grow and breathe, you have to take yourself out of that flower pot and you have to put yourself in a garden. And that, that's going to challenge your roots. That's going to challenge your stability. And that is emotionally uncomfortable. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to quickly talk about 5 things that I have had to reflect on with myself as I've gone into this upper limit. So I think I talked about this a podcast or 2 ago, and I said I'm in a season of no. Maybe I didn't talk about it, but I've been talking about it a lot inside my community. I'm in a season of no. Last year, I was acquiring a lot of information and growing. I'm still challenging myself. I'm training for another physical race in August. I've just recommitted to some more personal training, some nutrition support. Like I'm definitely challenging myself. I pretend I'm not challenging myself, but I am. I also need to accept that that's just my personality. And I now understand the game of life. And I know that when you see it, you can't unsee it. But I think when it comes to my personal and professional life and relationships, the 5 things that I've had to recalibrate myself to in this season of no, and what I mean by no is letting go of what is an add-on right now. So if people are like, "Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? Hey, do you want?" I'm not trying to add anything else to my calendar right now. I'm trying to focus. And I'm trying to focus and streamline and strategize. And so here's the 5 things that I am focusing on and improving these skills while I'm in this season of no. So the first one is time management. So I want to call this time and energy management, but it's more about habit management. I am more focused on the habits. I mean, externally, everyone calls it time management, which I think is bullshit, but I see time management as energy management and habit management. So, number 1, habit management, habit, time, energy management. Okay. Hey, I just want to take a minute and talk about today's sponsor, AG1. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I have slowly become obsessed with this product, and it has now become a everyday staple in our home. It costs you less than $3 a day. You don't have to worry about taking a ridiculous amount of expensive supplements. Of course, I'm not a physician or a healthcare provider, so talk to them first. But I am the type of person that always forgets to take supplements. And so AG1 has just become a daily part of my routine. They have amazing travel packs. So when I'm traveling, I bring that with me and I pour it in my water almost every morning. And for the boys, I sneak it in their smoothies. And so AG1 is going to be gifting you a year's supply of their vitamin D and also some travel packs if you are a new customer. So you can head on over to athleticgreens.com/EU for emotionally uncomfortable. And let me know if you try it. Tag me on Instagram. I love the taste. It's an acquired taste. It doesn't taste super sugary. And it's just one of those things that I notice when I'm not drinking it. And I love shit that I use. I like to pass it along. So check it out. Athletic Greens, ATHLETIC Greens, GREENS.com/EU. How are you showing up on a daily basis? In this season of no, I have had to reevaluate my habits. And by doing that, it has challenged me to call me out on how I'm truly showing up. And this is not just work related. This is also personal related because I'm being asked to strengthen myself physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I have the capacity to hold more money, more time, more energy, more big emotions, more big life decisions, and also getting further and further and further away of burnout. So paying attention to how you're managing your energy, how you're managing your time, and how you're managing your habits. And if you're thinking to me like, well, I don't have any of those, I suck at them. Okay, is that true? Or are you just trying to use perfection as like a coping strategy? Because I'm definitely not perfect at time management. I don't sit here married to a calendar or a to-do list. And if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. I will take a day off. But that might be energy management related, right? But I pay attention to my habits. What are the things that I say I'm going to do every day? And also habit management can also be like your negative habits or your non-life enhancing habits. Your non-life enhancing habits. I encourage you to write that down. And what I mean by that is these habits that you have, they might be mental habits. So the things that you tell yourself. They might be physical habits. They might be emotional habits. These are all habits, right? They're habit loops. You do them over and over and over again. People are like, oh, where do you find your motivation? How do you get inspired? It's like seeking motivation and then not taking action is a habit. Like that is your brain habit. But if you can turn that around and you get into the habit of doing things that you don't want to do for 10 minutes at a time, that's a habit and you will turn the ship around. So time, energy, and habit management. Number 2, communication skills. Oh boy. I feel like, and I don't know why, maybe it's because I've been working on communication skills for a very long time. But I will tell you, up in this season of my life, communication skills have had to be upped again. And I will tell you the thing that I've specifically had to add right now is communicating when something feels off, even when other people don't agree with me. What I mean by this is oftentimes, like I have learned and discovered how to communicate my feelings, my needs, my desires. That's ETM 101. That's what I teach, ETM 101. And ETM stands for energetic time management. And again, if you want the foundational skills of this, you can go to heatherchauvin.com/ETM. That I learned a long time ago. But what has happened here is when other people are bringing their opinions to the table, AKA a teenager or a team member or a community or a neighbor giving unsolicited advice, the advice actually, or their perspective might actually feel really aligned. You're like, yeah, you got a point there. Communication skills have also had to be improved when it comes to like really learning how to communicate your vision. That doesn't work for me, right? Saying things like, that feels a little off. Can we realign? And I think too often, especially as women, it's very easy to dismiss yourself and not communicate your needs because that's what we've been taught. So during this season, I have had to communicate the same thing over and over and over again, and hold a boundary. And that has been an interesting skill that I have to keep learning and relearning. Number 3, financial management. So I tell every human that I meet, but especially business owners, because I think if you are not a business owner, personal finance is never taught to us traditionally. And so it's something that you have to seek out and kind of be self-taught around. But oftentimes it's not until you own a business or you have to become, financially literate to understand financial management. But I like the saying of like, if you can't manage $1, you're not going to be able to manage $1 million. And I see this all the time, especially with women in business. They want to make a certain amount of money, but the thought of opening your bank accounts makes you want to puke. Or they want to manage a certain amount of money, but they will not charge anywhere near market value. And this is an issue. So financial management is also new level, new devil, right? You might learn the basics of something. And then when you want to go to the next level, like you want to become wealthier, you want to get into investments, all of that. A lot of this is self-taught. So this has also been another skill and area that has been interesting to me, but also something I find that you're chronically learning and growing through and about is it's one of those things that you think you can outsource, but you can't. You have to be able to Ask questions. You have to be able to listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, take courses like money courses that, from people that you like their values. You don't have to eat beans and rice like fucking Dave Ramsey says all the time. I almost said Gordon Ramsay, but Dave Ramsey. I don't agree with his money philosophy. And you can be out of debt, but if you feel dead inside, like, is that aligned? So I love following money people who are entrepreneurs, who are wealthy, and they have really solid foundation around like, if something brings you joy, invest in it, but be realistic with your investments. And I am also a huge fan of investing in your health, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, because without your health, you literally have nothing. Number 4. So 2 more skills that I have really had to up in this area of my life. Strategic planning. Oh boy. Let's just talk about strategic planning for a minute. So I love woo. I love feelings. I love alignment. I love relationships. I love empathy. I love compassion. I love a good adventure. But you, at some point in your personal life, in your professional life, with your children, with your health, you need to realize that there is some strategy that needs to come into play. So I have discovered in the last few years that I have built a very successful business with little to no strategy. Then I swung to the other side where I was like, okay, well, if I want to scale and grow, I need all strategy, right? So then I hired strategic supports and coaches. And I was like, well, that's not working either. So you need a strategy, but you need to be very flexible with your strategy and also understand that strategy is only 10%. And the other 90, or in my opinion, it's 10%. It's required, right? Like if you have no gas in your car, no, that's not a good metaphor. The metaphor for strategic planning with a car would be like, if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to keep driving. But it's like, have an idea of where you want to go. You might want to map it out to have an idea. That's more strategic. But if you're like, let's just get in the car and drive, that's totally fine as well, right? Let it be loosey-goosey. But when you want to scale and grow and you want to buy back your time and energy and you want to feel alive and energized, you need to be more strategic. So that is something that I have been doing in my personal and professional life. And when I say personal, I also mean like in my relationships, in my marriage, in my parenting, all the things, right? Even with my nutrition, with our dinners, with our vacations, like strategy is so, so important, but you don't need to be codependent on it. And number 5 brings me joy. Number 5 has been interesting. And number 5 is also kind of everything that I talk about, which is leadership and team management or people management. So these were the 5 things that I was reflecting on, especially joining our mentor retreat and who I've needed to become to get to the next level, both personally and professionally in my life. But when I say leadership and team management, I also want to say like family management. How you lead matters. How you lead, how you show up, how you respond, how you manage your energy, how you manage your time. All of this is critical in what you attract in your life. So, number 1, quick review. The time, energy, habit management. Again, if you want more information about this, head on over to heatherchauvin.com/ETM. Or message me on chat. It's heatherchauvin.com/chat, and we can have a conversation there. Number 2 is your communication skills. How are you effectively communicating your needs, your wants, your desires, both personally and professionally? And those definitely will be challenged as well as you grow. Number 3 is your financial management. This is so important because financial management to me is not just about money. Again, it goes back to self-worth and self-value. How we manage money is very aligned with our self-value. So upping your financial management skills, your financial literacy skills. I talk a lot about this in my program as especially Mastery Business. Number 4 is strategic planning. Be strategic. For some of you, you're like, yay, that's my comfort zone. You love the strategy, left brain thinkers. And for the right brain thinkers, the creatives, they're like, I suck at strategy. Just live for the moment, go with the flow. Well, that's great, but it's not always going to work. And to be honest, sometimes going with the flow too much can actually be self-sabotage. So we need to sprinkle in a little bit of strategy. And then we need to be flexible that the strategy might change. And number 5 is how you lead and how you manage people and how you make them feel. So the 5 things that I have had to relearn to scale and get to my next level, especially in this season of no, where I am decluttering and I am challenging myself and I am becoming the type of woman that attracts what she wants and desires, both personally and professionally. And if you are like me, and there have been many times that you have wanted to run away because it feels too emotionally uncomfortable, just know that that means you are so freaking close to a breakthrough. And if you are ready to feel supported and to achieve results quicker, both personally or professionally, then I encourage you to send me a message at Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/chat. Send me a word coaching or something, and I'll connect with you. And just know you're not alone. We don't need to be perfect, actually, ever, because perfection does not exist. We just need to know we are worthy of continuing the work. Manage your energy, not your time, and watch your life change. This is the energetic time management habit challenge. And what I have done is I've taken my ETM model that you may have heard me talk about over and over again inside of my podcast or my book. And this is where I take the concept and I show you the step-by-step strategy required to create 10-minute habits in alignment with how you want to feel. So this challenge breaks down the theory. I give you the step-by-step. There's a workbook and also 10 minutes or less little audios. So you can do this while you're walking. You can do this while you're driving. I made it super simple for you. So if you want to start today, I want you to head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/ETM. This is a great place to start if you are a woman who has bills to pay and children to feed, but you still want to feel alive, energized, and fulfilled while you're doing it. HeatherChauvin.com/ETM.